Sometimes when you're here, I can't feel no doubts, 'cause you keep me where the stars are bound. It doesn't really matter.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace. If you're new here, today's video we're going to be talking about my testimony, my life, how I got to know God, how God has helped me for the past few years, how He changed me, how He changed the way I think. I mean, just all that, you know. I'm really just gonna, it's mainly about God and how God changed my whole life, you know. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's just get into it. So how I got to know God was really just His own way, right? He did it His own way. I didn't expect it. I didn't know I was gonna know of Him. I didn't know that He existed, right? The whole time I was living in Namibia before I came to Canada, I had no idea who God was. I had no idea He existed. First of all, we used to go to a Ruano church because my mom used to attend to a Ruano. That's our church. But then I thought it's Sunday, people gotta go to church, and I didn't know what church was. I didn't know what they were going there for. So I was just going just to go. If you know, you know. If you were raised in Namibia, or I don't know, if you have ever experienced going to church and you don't know why people go to church and you just think it's just tradition, people go to church on Sunday, that's what I used to think it was. I didn't know anything. When they're reading the Bible, I just used to mind my own business, okay? Think about other things, you know, think about boys and things like that at that age. You know, I didn't care about nothing. Sometimes I'll fall asleep. So it was not really something that I knew about when I was in Namibia. I didn't know who He was and what He was about, you know. So yeah, so really Namibia, there's really nothing to talk about, honestly, because I was just blinded, knew nothing. I had my firstborn before I came to Canada. So in that whole coming to Canada and giving birth, for me in my head, it was like, I didn't even know it's God who opened that door for me. For me, I felt like, oh yeah, it's my granddad, like, these cattles, you know, is what helped me to come to Canada, you know. And my parents allowed me to come to Canada. So for me in my head, I was just like, yeah, like, what, you know, like, I didn't know it was God at that moment. So I was still doing my own thing, you know. And I came to Canada in 2011, and I still knew nothing about God coming here, honestly. Even after having my daughter, I didn't know God existed. I don't remember praying, asking God for anything. You know, I was just, it's like I was just being, my mind was empty, guys. Like I don't even remember anything. I don't remember. But I can remember a few years back, but I can't remember that when I was 18. I cannot. I knew I had a boyfriend, I had sex, and then I got pregnant, and then I gave birth, and then I decided to come to Canada. And I remember coming to Canada, I was telling my mom, you should allow me to go to Canada because I'm going to build for you a big house, a big house, because I really wanted her to allow me to come, you know. And it was not because I was really gonna build this house for her. In my head, I was just like, just allow me to go, you know, like, I'm gonna build you a house, a big one, a big huge house, you know. But it was not because I meant it at the time. It was never anything of, at that moment, of like being sure of what I was going to do when I come here, you know, or what my life is going to be when I come here. So I came here, I still didn't know God, but I remember in 2011, I met a few people that used to go to church. That's when I knew a bit about God, and I started to sing in a choir, because back home I was in the school choir in primary school, I was in the school choir in high school. I'm a good singer, okay, but the voice is amazing, but I had no idea why I have a good voice. Anyways, I just singing like everybody sing Beyonce, everybody be singing, right? And I joined a choir here in Toronto 2011, and then they used to attend church. I used to join those things, and that's when I started to know a bit about God. Can you believe that time I was 19? Because I just turned 19 at that time, and I had no idea who God was. I had no idea. I know people will stand there and preach, and then I would just be like, okay. But then I started to understand a few things, and then one day I was going to see my lawyer, had a few appointments. I remember I was praying all the time. I used to pray in the bus, I used to pray in the train, I used to ask God for stuff, and I had no idea who God was, you know. I just started to do it because I noticed people pray, because sometimes when I'm at these gatherings, I'll see people praying, and I'm just there standing like, where do I start? Because I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know anything about it. I had no idea, guys, at all. I had no idea. So yeah, I started to know, that's when I started to know about God a little bit. And then fast forward to 2013 January. So I was waiting for the government to approve me to stay in Canada for like 6 months, and most people were telling me like, oh, they usually tell you there, or it takes 2 weeks to get it, or a month, that's it, but 6 months is a lot. So I was starting to get worried. I was just like, oh my God, why is this taking 6 months? Am I going to be deported? What is going to go on? What is going to happen? I started to pray and asking God to give me an answer, or to allow me to stay in Canada, to help me so I can stay in Canada. That's when I started to really pray, because that was only my prayer anyways. Please God, help me so I can stay in Canada. Please God. I didn't have anything else to say, and I'll be like, thank you for everything, whatever. At that point, I still didn't know that it was not by luck that I came to Canada. It was not by luck. I thought it was still my own parents doing, or myself. I didn't even think that God was part of it, or he was the one who made me come here, So yeah, I asked, and then 2013 he delivered on my daughter's birthday. He delivered on January 7th. He said, this is yours, you're staying in Canada. And I was so excited. And then after that, still I didn't care. I was living my life. Okay, I was living my life. Honestly, I was just living my life, dating anyhow, doing whatever I wanted to do, dating whoever the hell I wanted to date. Okay, I was just doing everything that I wanted to do, and until 2018, I think, because I remember in which year did I start YouTube? I started a year somewhere there, and then I didn't even know why I started YouTube, because I was watching YouTube and I felt like, okay, I like this makeup, I like this hair, and then I started to film those kind of videos, not knowing that's really not me, but I was just doing it because other people were doing it, and I started to fall in love with beauty and fashion, and I also started to film those kind of videos. And then after that, I remember I moved to Calgary, it's another town in Canada, and then I came to Edmonton. So I was still in the world living my life, and guys, I got a good job. I think 2017, somewhere there. 2017, 2018 in the beginning, I think 2017, and I joined this job that I'm in, and then I started to know this job had a lot of money, right? And then I was thinking, what am I going to do with this money? Then I started to build my mama house. In these things also in my head, I was still thinking, this is me. I'm the one who's doing these things, nobody else. I'm the one who found that job. I'm the one who's capable and able to do these things. I didn't even know that God was the one helping me to do all these things. And until 2019, I asked God for something and he delivered, that I'm not even going to talk about. I asked God for something and then he delivered, and then I was like, what? And the whole process and everything, how it happened, it just made it clear it's him. There was nothing on the way. Like, he opened everything for me to just, my path was just straight for me to walk, everything was amazing. So I was so happy. That's when I really okay, he exists, he really does exist. And then till fast forward to 2021, 2020 I was a mess. Okay, I was doing my own thing. But 2021, that's when he showed up. He was like, yep, I'm here, let's get it right. 2021, I was like, a lot of things was happening, and I noticed I was praying a lot. And by 2021, I already built my mama house. I still thought in my head I did that by myself, So, and 2021, God showed up. And for some reason, I started to notice me reading the Bible. I started to notice me praying. And then I started to notice that whenever I ask God for something, he comes through. And then I was like, this prayer thing works. In my head, I was just like, this actually really works. Then I started to do it more often whenever I needed anything. It's like a testing God, which is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but then I was like, he did it, and then I pray again for something else, and then he does it again. And then I pray again for something else, and then he does it again. I'm like, hey, what is going on? I was like, what is going on? What is happening? How come God is answering all my prayers, right? And during 2021, I remember I was going through things in my relationship, and I remember asking God to take me out of that relationship. And I remember I didn't have money. I was not working. I had no coins at all. And I think I just lose my job, or what was going on? No, I was not working, but I don't know what happened somewhere there. But then I don't know what happened really, but I didn't have a job. I know I was not working at that moment in time. And then I decided to move out. I remember I had a friend of mine. I sent her to look for me a house and all these things, and I paid for these things. And then I remember the apartment that I got wanted me to move in on the 1st, but at that moment I didn't have the money, because you have to pay first and last, and I only paid the last. So I remember I didn't have the money to pay for to go in the house now for that month. And I was like asking God, please, like, what am I gonna do? And I was really going through it. And then I remember like that landlord texting me, telling me, oh no, I'm thinking, because there's a lot of cleaning and there's still some the old tenants stuff in the apartment. Are you okay if you move? Is it okay if you move on the 15th? And then I was like, what? That's when I was like, what is God doing? Like, it's like, you know when you pray for something, it's different when you pray for something and then he answers like 5 years later. But when you ask him right now and then he comes to deliver, and then you ask him for something else, he deliver. And everything I was asking, I would ask him for money, he gave me the last. And then I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't have money to move in for that month. Now what am I going to do? And I have to pay for that rent for that month. Like, what am I going to, like, you can't be late on your first rent payment. Like, what? And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then he came through with this. And then the Lord was like, no, if you want to move in on the 15th, that's also okay. So we can have time to clean. I was like, look at God. Look at God, And I was like, oh my God, I remember that day I cried. I was so happy. Oh my God, I was so happy. And I remember usually I'm scared of driving these big trucks, this like U-Haul, like I'm really scared of it. And I had no choice, because I was moving from another town to the other, right? And I had to drive. And I'm not the one to drive those things. I'm so scared of it. And I feel like they move everywhere. And God was like, he gave me that okay to drive that thing, even though I was really scared of it. I drove it all the whole 6 hours, because I was driving so slow, so I don't even get into no accident, right? So I was just taking my time. And I remember coming here and I was staying with my friend, and I don't remember where the money came from. I don't remember, but he provided that money. And yeah, he gave me that money. I think I got help from the government or something, but it came through, the check came through or whatever. So, and then I paid for my rent. Okay, cool. And then now I started to fall in love with God. I started to fall in love with the word. I started to believe in Jesus. I started to believe in all of it, And I remember staying in that new apartment, and I used to pray a lot. I remember I used to pray a lot. And also, like, I was overweight. I wasn't overweight. Let's not even go there. Me, I always have a problem with trying to lose weight. Well, I don't even have no issues. That's also a part of me that I need to work on, because I'm always like, yeah, I need to lose weight, but there's nothing to lose. There's really nothing to lose. I just like I always try to find weird things to think or do, but I didn't have no issues with weight. Let's be honest. So I was on this diet thing that I wanted to detox or whatever it was. And I remember that time I was praying a lot. Praying a lot. And that's when I became closer to God now. I became really close to him. I became really, really close. And I now I started to feel when he talks to me. And it's not by luck that I'm in Canada. It's not by luck that I have this good job. It's not by luck that I'm able to do these kind of things, or things that I was doing in my life and things that I was accomplishing, That's when I noticed that God did all these things in my life. I came to Canada, he gave me papers, and he helps me in everything, in every struggle, while I'm thinking, somebody else did this for me. It's not that somebody, even though sometimes he uses other people to do things for you. It's always him who's coming through, because he knows you, he knows your heart, he knows what you need, So 2021, I was also praying for, I remember coming to the end of 2021, I applied for my citizenship, and then I was praying for it, because I really wanted to go home and see my family. So I was praying to get my citizenship, like it was no joke. And I remember in 2022, December, people were going, as we are going. If you're Namibian, you know what I'm doing. They're always like, as we are going. And then I was like, it was not 2021, December, people started to go to Namibia. Yeah. I remember I applied my citizenship, I think early 2021. And then I remember 2021, December, people were leaving because there was a wedding I wanted to attend as well. And I started to notice people are posting as we are going, as we are going. If you're Namibian, you know what I'm talking about. I remember 2021, I was sitting on the couch trying to book a ticket to go to Namibia. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go either way. Even if I have citizenship or I don't, I'm gonna go. And then the cards will not go through. It would not go through, guys. I was like, what is going on? At that moment, I also didn't think of it. You know, when God said you're not going somewhere, you're not gonna go anywhere. You will not go anywhere. You know, in my head, I was just like, I would just really wanted to go just because of the vibe and everybody's going, right? And I really wanted to go. The card kept declining, and I was like, but there's money in the card. How is the card declining? And then I'll call the airline, the airline, whatever I was booking with, and I was like, why is my card declining with you guys? Because I'm trying to book a ticket to go to Namibia, but for some reason my thing is not working. But there's money in the card, and they were like, yeah, you should contact your bank. If I contact the bank is like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the card or the bank. The card should work. There should not be no issues. And I was like, what the hell? And then I tried the next day again, and then it was not going through. I'm telling you, I probably tried 4 times. It was not going through, and I was like, what is going on? And then one day, one of those days during December, God spoke to me, and he really completely just told me that you're not gonna go. Like, you're not supposed to go. You make peace with it. You're not going anywhere. That's what I had. I had a voice talking to me like that. I had the feeling that I should stay, you know. And I remember also when I wanted to book the ticket, I was just not feeling good. I felt like something bad is going to happen, you know. But still, I wanted to go. I was still trying the ticket, but I didn't end up going. And that's when I knew that, okay, God started to communicate with me, and he started to just do things differently in my life. I'm not in control anymore. And then we came into 2022. I remember I went to do this job, a shutdown, and I was like, God, I need my citizenship this year, because I didn't go last year, not this year again, you know. I need to go see my family. I need to go see them. I miss them a lot, you know. So I remember January, they called me for a test, because they delayed because I applied, and usually they call you first for a test, and they called me. It took a whole year and a half for them to call me, and I was like, I didn't know what was going on with my application, honestly. And then every time I check, they say, oh no, it's still in process. I'm like, okay, till when now, you know, because not everybody's thing goes by fast, right? So January, I remember January, they sent me an email that I have to write my test. So obviously I got excited, and then I got my citizenship that year, which I was so grateful, and I knew it came from God. It came from God. They even delayed my passport for 3 months, and God, I prayed. I remember I was working in another town, Raj, and I cried and I was praying, God, it's August, I still don't have my passport. What is going on? December, I want to go home. You know, why does usually a passport take 10 days? Why are we doing 3 months now? You know, I was so confused. So I was like, I remember crying my eyes out. I was like, guys, tears was like water, you know. And then the next day they called me, and then I was like, how do I pray for something and I get it right away, you know? Even before that, I worked so hard that year, and I know, like, I usually, like, even when I built my mama house in 2019, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna build myself a house before I built my mama's house. So I built my mom's house, and then I built my own last year. So I remember that whole year I worked so hard. I did not breathe. You guys know on YouTube, like, I was not even filming videos at all. I was working. I was not doing anything. I was just working. I was just focused on the coins. So I built my whole mansion. I call it a mansion because it's my little place, you know. I worked so hard. I did that was out of the way, you know. And then I went home that December as well to see my family. I went to stay there for like 4 months. So yeah, it was great, you know. So I'm telling you all these things, and that's not the only things I've accomplished. I've accomplished a lot of things, guys. Being healthy and being able to go to work and being here to be breathing right now, it's a blessing on its own, right? All those things are materialistic things. Yeah, houses are materialistic things. Getting papers or having a Canadian citizenship, those are just documents too. They're just, it is what it is. And it's not that, but it's not the end of the world if you have it or you don't have it. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, what really amazes me is when I ask and he gives it to me. And he doesn't give it to me because I'm perfect, I'm a prayer, or I pray a lot, or I do everything the way he wants me to do, because I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect Christian. God knows I'm not. I don't think I'll be anyways. I'm not perfect. I try my best way I can, and the fact that he gives me everything I ask, and I always know now I know that if he doesn't give it to me, then it's not mine. When he gives it to me, it's mine. So I really wanted to share these things with you guys, because I feel like I know a lot of people that say, oh no, God don't answer my prayers and everything. I feel like if you don't believe in something, if you keep telling yourself it's not going to happen, it's probably not going to happen. And how you say, you ask and God doesn't give, God gives you a lot of things. You being alive is a blessing on its own. For you to be awake right now, to be watching this video, for you to have eyes to see this moment, it's a blessing on its own as well. It's like he's also answering your prayers for you to still continue to be alive, and live in this world. So there's like a lot of things. And also I wanted to share this because everybody has a different journey, right? Mine might be different from yours. Yours might be different from mine. We are not all meant to walk in the same roads, We are not all meant to be doctors. We are not all meant to be Grace. We are not all meant to be who. We are all different. That's why we look unique. We are different. I don't look like nobody than my daughter. We are so unique in our own way. And even my daughter, we look alike, like complete twins, but then at the same time she's a person on her own. She has her own personality. That's why I'm even like always like I'm grateful for the things that I have. Even if I ask for more, I still am grateful, and I am still grateful for the things that he gave me, guys. This year on its own, 2023, the month April, he did the most. He's been doing it. I have noticed it, because he keeps, even when I'm doing something, even when I drink alcohol and then I wake up in the morning, I always feel guilty. He always talks to me, guys, always, and I keep ignoring him. I'm always like, don't worry about it. I'm always just doing my own thing. And then in the morning, I see other people are trying to buy alcohol to drink and like take out the hangover, and I'm so like stressed out. I'm so angry at myself, and I feel so guilty. I feel like I did something wrong, and that's when I started to know that God doesn't want me to do these things. And I'm not saying I've stopped drinking alcohol. It's like a process. I'm really working on it, because I've been really trying to change my life, and it's been really hard. And I think that's also part of him, because I've asked him a lot of times to, God, please take away alcohol out of my life, because it delays me in a lot of things. I'm meant to do a lot of things, but for sometimes when I'm off, I just want to drink. I don't end up doing the things that I said I was gonna do. So I've asked that a lot, and then me asking that, I started to notice that now I regret every time I drink. It's like, if you don't understand what God can do, it's like, now I'm regretting it. Every day I wake up guilty. Every day I wake up like I did something wrong. Wake up feeling bad. But I'm like, but everybody else feels good. Why is it just me feeling this way, I started to feel that way every time I do something, even before I say a word, even when somebody makes me angry, I lash out. I'm just like, you know what, God, I really did not mean that. I really don't want to be angry at people, because I just really don't want to be that person. I'm also the type of person that will probably go on social media and say some stuff to hurt you. But I'm not that person anymore. So I try my best. Even sometimes I'm at my keyboards, I'm just like, I'm going to type right now. I'm going to tell her what I need to tell her. But then it's like, he's always said like, nope, you're not that type of person anymore. That's not you anymore. Just don't worry about those things. Let me fight your battles, right? Like the month of April, let me say the whole 2023, not the whole, because it's not even over, but this 5 months have taught me a lot, guys. It has taught me a lot. God has showed up in my life in so many ways. He has shown me. I have cried, and also at the same time, he was comforting me. He made sure I don't question him at all. It's like my mindset when I think about him and what is happening to me and what I'm going through. I'm not blaming God. I'm not asking God, why is this happening to me? Because it's like, who should it happen to? I wouldn't wish the pain that I had on anybody. So I would not be like, God, why me? Because I wouldn't want anybody to go through that pain, you know. So it was like, it was so much pain that I did not know what to do. And for some reason, I became so strong that I don't know where that strongness came from. You know, I don't know where it came from. I just, like, all of a sudden, I'm just like, good. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, how am I okay at this moment? How am I even okay? How am I able to do all these things? How am I able to accept all these words people keep throwing? Especially this year, guys, people have said a lot of things about me. People have said the worst to me, things that have probably made me never ever show up on YouTube or anywhere or anybody's house. Maybe close myself in a door in a room and just close myself there for the rest of my life. But nope, like, it did not break me. It did not do anything. It did not stop my blessings. It did not stop where I'm supposed to go. It did not stop anything. But God really made sure that I go through that and get out like the way I am right now. I got out of it with nothing that I'm gonna regret at all. Like, I got out of it without anything that the enemy was trying to do to me. It went back to hell where it came from, and the enemies were put to shame, basically. So it's like everything that I've been through and things that have been said to me this whole year, even me, I was starting my whole channel again and also filming new videos. I was just like, God, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? You know, he is just right there with me, guys. He is right there with me. Every time the devil is trying me, and then every time at the same time, it's like when you have two people fighting for you. It's like this one is saying this one is saying this. And I think it becomes worse when you're becoming closer and closer to God. It becomes even worse when you're closer and when you're trying to get closer, because the devil keeps trying you more and more the closer you want to get to God. And it's just like, it's like you want to lose your mind. It's like, what is going on? It's like, normally when you're living your normal life in the world, when you're not trying to get closer to God, the devil doesn't bother you a lot because you're already in living his life that he wants you to live, right? But as soon as you try to move on to God, he's like trying to pull you, honey. But God is like, nope. That is my childhood. You ain't gonna touch her, you know. I'm amazed with what God has done in my life and what he continues to do. And I am blessed. I am so grateful that God looked for me for all these 12 years that I've been in Canada. He looked for me till he found me, right? He looked for me till I rejected him so many times. I pushed back a lot of things he asked me to do. I ignored a lot of things that he wanted me to do. And it's like this year was the year of breakthrough for me. It was the year of, nope, no more. No more, okay? No more. Because everything that I'm trying to do, he's just like the things that I used to have interest in, I don't have interest. The only struggle that I'm having now is alcohol. Because I'm noticing that every time I want to order beer, and I'm just like, no, don't order. No, don't order, and then order. And I'm just like, what is going on? Let me just order the beer, you know, or let me just not want to drink it, you know. Like, I don't know, like, it's been my struggle. That part has been my struggle, okay, you know. And yeah, it's a journey to walk with God, guys. It's a journey, you know. I gave my life to God when I think 2021, that's when I did, but I wasn't like, I was there, he was there, you know. But I feel like this year, it has been the year, guys. Even it has not even from January, February, March, I was living my life. April was it. April was the month he said, nope, you're done. You are done. Like, because of so many things he showed me a lot of things. It's like God will not come and talk to you right like face to face this way, but the things that he show you, and then he gives you the mind to understand what he's showing you, then you know, Kusha, no, like, nope. He's doing a whole different thing. I'm going through a whole different thing that nobody can understand. Even when you try to explain to somebody, they won't even get it. It's something that people would never understand unless you've been through what I've been through. You won't understand. You won't understand that breakthrough. You won't understand when God is actually holding you now. When you don't understand when you're not in control. You won't understand because it's like you are not in control of your life anymore. Everything that you do, I used to hear people talk about even what you used to like, you won't like anymore. Even this, you won't do it anymore. It's like the way he changes you, it's a whole different thing. For me, honestly, like the things that I've been through lately, there's nothing that will make me want to stick around there where I was. I don't want to do that. I'm not a perfect Christian. Like, I drink, I do have few drinks there and there. I do say some things when I'm pissed off or whatever. I'm not perfect, but I don't want to be on the other side. I would rather be here with my imperfections. I don't want to be on the other side, honestly. I don't want to be there. I don't want to surround myself with that energy. I don't want even be surrounded by, I don't even want to be surrounded by it. You know, I would rather be this side. If I feel like I'm drinking alcohol, let me drink alcohol while I'm reading that Bible. If that's the case, I don't want to be that side, because that's a side you don't even want to be part of. Oh my God, I don't even want to get into it, because there's just some things that I want to talk about. But there's just some things, when you see some things that will never, in your head, you would never be the same again, and you would never be the person that you would think that, even if you thought God did not exist, you know that God exists. You know that he exists, he's alive, he does what he wants to do, and whether you like it or not, he's going to be still around till the end. So it's up to you which route you want to take and what you want to do. Also, one thing that I've noticed about me lately, I've started to not worry about anything anymore. I used to worry about anything. Even if I want $200, I'll be worried, where am I going to get that $200? Oh my God, where am I going to get $500? What am I going to do this? What am I gonna, like, I used to worry about little things like that. And I came to the point in my life where I'm just like, God will provide. Like, I'm not even worried. I was like, yeah, God, I'm not even going to try to even bother to borrow anybody or anything. Ask anybody for anything. He's going to provide, and he always does. It's like he always does. If he doesn't, then it's not meant to happen. Like, it's not meant to be. It's really that simple. So yeah, I'm so really excited. I'm so excited for my life with God. I'm excited to really just allow him to walk in me. I'm excited to allow him to get into my head, in my heart, my whole body. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for him to take over and do whatever he wants to do through me. You know, I'm just ready for it. I'm just over it. I'm just tired of the world, doing all the world stuff that we keep doing on a daily and all the time. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. Like, I'm not even interested in going out no more, guys. Every time I'm thinking about going out, I'm just like, yeah, maybe sitting at a restaurant eating something nice. Like, I'm not interested in going partying, going soccer stuff, all these funny things that we keep doing. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not interested in doing it anymore. In fact, that whole energy is not my vibe no more. I don't want it. I don't want any of that nonsense. I'm not interested in any of those things. I feel like I need to have him first before I do anything else. I feel like if my relationship with God is not right, I don't see why I should be interested in anything else. You know, I'm trying to work on this. Guys, I went through a lot of things in my life, but I always run back to God, because there's nobody in this world that can help me with my problems, guys. Ain't nobody. And it's funny how I've been doing that for a few years now, and when I come to God, problems are always solved, right? Not even, it doesn't mean it's solved right away, but it comes to pass. It gets solved. I get provided with what I need. He helps me in things that I don't even know myself. Sometimes God goes before you and help you with things that you don't even know that it's happening. There's nobody else that I would really want to like confide in, talk to about my stuff. It's just him, and I know my secrets are safe with him. I know whatever I ask him for is between me and him, and my problems are safe with him. And it's not like he just listens, he also helps with that problem or whatever you're going through at the moment. So even when I was reading the Bible, where was this in the Bible? But it says like we may have our own plans, but God determines our steps. And that spoke to me. That really spoke to me, because we can plan all these things, we can do all these things, we can build all these houses, and then we don't even end up sleeping in these houses because God has taken us away, or we die, or something happens to us. So it's like all these things that we want, yes, to make our life comfortable on earth, but it's not a need. What we need is God. It's not a need. It's the things that God will give us soon as we are with Him, but it's not a need. So for me, I would rather really be closer to God and build my relationship with God, and then everything will fall into place, as in like even a relationship or a marriage, or like that beautiful house you want, or that car that you want. Those things will come, but first, fixing the relationship with God is what's most important to me. And I'm finally there where I'm like, yep, it's time. And I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. He changed my life. He came into my life just the right time. Like the right time. And it's funny, like in January, remember, I wasn't even thinking about it like that. And I wasn't there in my mind. And I didn't know a lot of things that have happened now. It will happen. And it's like He knew things that will happen before you even knew it. So it's like, why would I not want to be around someone who knows everything that's going to happen before it happens? Why would I not want to know that person? Why would I not want to know that? Why would I not want that close to me? Why would I not want to be involved in that? Because it's like everybody else, these friends, boyfriends, and everything that we have around us, kids, they don't know anything. They're just as you are. Nobody know nothing. They're just living this life the way we're living life. So I don't want to live. I feel like I've been living my life blindly. Now I feel like my eyes are open. The fact that I'm turning 31 this month, and I'm just now noticing. I'm just now noticing that actually I cannot do this life thing without God. I cannot. There is no way I can do this life thing without God. And He has proven to me that I will not be able to do anything without Him. And that to me just made me just sign the deal. God, I'm with you, okay? We're together on this thing, because I know I cannot do anything without you. I cannot. Even if I try, I always run back to Him. If I'm stuck, I run back to Him. If I'm trying to do whatever, I run back to Him. Everything that I'm trying to do in my life, I keep running back to Him. It's like, okay, so why don't I just stick there with Him? So I don't have to run back every time. So I know I'm walking with you. So you already know what I'm trying to do. He's going to open that door. I don't have to run back to anything. I don't have to try to be living this life and running back to God when I need Him, and not living in this life when things are going good and then run back when my life is falling apart. And so I found God. I love God a lot. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section below how you found God. If you have found God, and how you found Him, how you got to know Him, what He has done in your life. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me see, let me read. I like those things. I love to hear stories on how people have because everybody's testimony is different, and how they found God is different, and what God has done in their life is different. So I would definitely want to know yours. If you're open to share, please do share in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Times when you're